Welcome back, everyone. In today's lesson, we're diving into word problems and logical reasoning. Word problems are one of the most common types of questions you'll encounter on the ASVAB, and they often require you to translate real-world situations into mathematical equations. We'll also cover multi-step problems, time, distance, and rate problems. Let's get started. Step 1. Key strategies for translating word problems. One of the most important skills you need for word problems is to be able to translate the text into an equation. Here's the general process. Identify the quantities involved, like distance, rate, and time. Assign variables to unknowns, like x, y, or t. Look for keywords that tell you the operation, like sum, difference, product, or quotient. Let's start with the simple one. A person buys 3 pens for $2 each. How much did they spend in total? First, let's define the variable. Let x be the total cost. The problem tells us that the price of each pen is $2 and the person bought 3 pens. So the equation is x equals 3 times 2. If we solve the equation, x equals 6. So the total cost is $6. Example 2. Translating a more complex word problem. Now, let's try something a little more complex. A car rental company charges a flat rate of $30 per day, plus an additional 25 cents per mile driven. How much would it cost to rent the car for 5 days and drive 100 miles? Let's define the variables. X equals total cost. The daily charge is $30 per day. So the daily charge for 5 days is 30 times 5. The cost per mile is 25 cents, and they're driving 100 miles. So 0.25, 25 cents times 100 miles are the equations. Now we can set up the equation to find the total cost. X equals 30 times 5 plus 0.25 times 100. We simply do the order of operations now. X equals 30 times 5, 150, plus 0.25 times 100 equals 25. 150 plus 25 is 175. X equals 175. So the total cost is $175. Example 3. Multi-step word problem. A painter charges $12 an hour while his son charges $6 an hour. If the father and son work the same amount of time together on the job, how many hours did each of them work if their combined charge for their labor was $108? Okay, let's break this problem down step by step. The painter charges $12 per hour. So let's note that. Per hour. And his son charges $6 per hour. They worked the same amount of time, and their combined charge was $108. So both of them worked the same amount of hours. And the total after the time they put in amounted to $108. We need to find how many hours each they worked. So what we'll do is we'll let the number of hours each worked be H. The father charges $12 per hour, so for H hours he would earn $12 per hour, 12H. The son charges $6 per hour, so for H hours he would earn $6 per hour, 6H. So the total charge for the combined labor is 108. So we can write the equation as 12H plus 6H equals 108. Now we combine like terms. 12H plus 6H equals 18H equals 108. Now we just divide both sides by 18, giving us an answer of h equals 6. So both the father and son worked 6 hours each at these rates to amount to the final charge of 108. Example 4, a simple time, distance, and rate. Jan types at an average rate of 12 pages per hour. At that rate, how long will it take Jan to type 100 pages? Let's set this problem up. 12 pages over 1 hour equals 100. Let's put hours here. 100 hours over x hours, of which we are solving for. Okay, so we cross multiply. 12x equals 100. Now we isolate x by dividing 12 on both sides to get x equals 100 over 12, of which we must now simplify. 100 divided by 12 equals 8.33, or in fractional terms, 8 1/3. An hour is 60 minutes. So 1/3 of that is 20 minutes. So 8 1/3 hours is 8 hours and 20 minutes. Solving for the unknown in time, distance, and rate. All right, now let's do one where we solve for the unknown in time, distance, and rate. So you'll want to know the formula for rate equals distance over time for solving these types of word problems on the ASVAB. Now let's try one where we need to solve for the unknown. A car travels 240 miles at a constant speed. If it takes 4 hours to make the trip, what is the car's speed? We know the distance is 240 miles, and the time is 4 hours. We need to solve for the rate, the speed. So we'll always use this formula. Rate equals distance over time equals. So whenever you see a problem like this that talks about the speed, how fast something is traveling, and the distance it takes, you'll notice you'll probably have to use this formula. So we can set up this formula with the following variables. Let me just write it out again. Rate equals distance over time, and we have our variables here, which should be 240 miles over a rate of 4 hours, a speed or a time of 4 hours. So now to find the rate, we would simply simplify and divide, leaving us with 60. 240 divided by 4 is 60. So the car speed is 60 miles per hour. Now we did a problem like this just to illustrate the formula that you must remember when coming across word problems like that. Make sure you remember this. Well done. You've now got the skills to translate word problems into equations, solve multi-step arithmetic problems, and tackle time, distance, and rate word problems. In the next lesson, we'll be covering fractions, decimals, and percentages in more depth. So keep practicing and you'll be well on your way to mastering the ASVAB. I'll see you there.